Rankings week is going strong here on the channel, and if you're unfamiliar with what's been going on, allow me to get you up to speed. What we're doing is going through all 5 positions in basketball, and we're ranking the starters from all 30 NBA teams at each spot. So far, we've already published the videos going through the point guards, shooting guards, and small forwards. So today, that brings us to the power forward position, which is one that includes some of the biggest stars in the sport, and a whole lot of versatility top to bottom. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but it also very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. Starting at the bottom and working our way up to the number 1 spot, at number 30, we have Kelly Oubre of the Philadelphia 76ers. The power forward position is easily the weakest spot for this Sixers team, and with Oubre as the one favored to start here, it's going to continue being a weak spot. Oubre provides consistent energy on both ends of the floor and plays hard at all times, but he can be a bit of a bonehead when it comes to decisions that he makes. He's been one of the worst volume 3-point shooters in the league for most of his career, hitting just 29% of his threes last season, and even with his consistent effort, he has way too many mental lapses on the defensive end to be considered a positive. Next at number 29, we have Keegan Murray of the Sacramento Kings. Murray came out as a rookie pretty hot as a stretch 4, hitting threes at an efficient clip and defending hard, but in each of the last 2 seasons, he's regressed as a shooter, which hurts how the Kings want to run their offense. His steady improvement as a perimeter defender still shines night after night in the lineup, but if he wants to shoot back up this list, he's got to rediscover his rookie year shooting stroke. Next at number 28, we have Matas Buzelis of the Chicago Bulls. Buzelis is oozing in potential and has all of the makings of a potential star in the making after his rookie year last season, but right now he's still way too raw and inconsistent to label him as such. With his combination of 6'10" height, lengthy wingspan, skill on the ball, and finishing talent around the rim, he abuses mismatches, but we need to see him put it together at a higher level production for a full season before he can go over established starters on this list. Next at number 27, we have Harrison Barnes of the San Antonio Spurs. Barnes is actually coming off of a pretty strong year, all things considered, having just shot a career-high 43% from 3, spacing the floor excellently for a young Spurs team, but it flew under the radar with the team floundering down the stretch without Victor Wembanyama. He's not doing too much on the ball at this point in his career, and his impact defensively isn't quite as high as others at the position, but as a shooter, he's aging like a fine wine. Next at number 26, we have Bilal Coulibaly of the Washington Wizards. Coulibaly truly has all defense level potential with his length and tenacity hounding the opposition on this young Wizards team, but through 2 seasons, he's still pretty raw offensively. On offense, he's flashed some brilliant finishing abilities, soaring to the rim, throwing down dunks, and thriving in the paint, but he's still a non-factor from 3 at the moment, hitting just 28% of his threes, which holds back his overall offensive impact. Next at number 25, we have Tobias Harris of the Detroit Pistons. Harris is a veteran journeyman who came to Detroit last year and served as a veteran presence in the lineup, otherwise surrounded by inexperienced younger guys. Tobias is far from a perfect product, as someone who has tendencies to settle for lower quality shots, and he shies away from the 3-point line at times, but he defends hard, and has an underrated post game that the team can bank on when the going gets tough. Next at number 24, we have Jabari Smith Jr. of the Houston Rockets. Jabari was a top 3 pick back in 2022, with many expecting him to be a future star at the time, and unfortunately, through 3 seasons, he hasn't shown much growth at all, which is pretty disappointing for the Rockets faithful. He's still a very solid player in his own right. His ceiling is just a lot lower as someone who doesn't quite have the ability to create separation to get his own shot off on a regular basis, and his overall 3-point shooting is not as efficient as we thought it would be when he was coming out of college. But on defense, he's a borderline elite player already, playing a big role in Houston being one of the best defensive units in the league, and that goes a long way. Next at number 23, we have Michael Porter Jr. of the Brooklyn Nets. MPJ is getting a fresh start in a new environment where he's going to get much more of a green light on offense than he's ever had in Denver, which is probably a dream come true for him. If there's one thing Porter likes to do, it's get shots up whenever he can. And in Brooklyn, with no expectations or lofty playoff goals, he can shoot as much as he wants, which should result in a new career high in points loading for him, but ultimately, it is a position filled with guys that actually play winning basketball on both ends of the floor, and his empty calorie scoring numbers playing a selfish brand of basketball is just not something that I can reward any further than this. Next, at number 22, we have Toumani Camara of the Portland Trail Blazers. Camara is almost the complete inverse of MPJ as a player who doesn't need to get shots up to impact the game at a high level, and in just his second season last year, he was already named to the all-defense team for his work locking down opposing teams' best players on a regular basis. He generates a ton of steals, he already knows where he needs to be on and off the ball, he battles through screens, and on offense, his scoring improved across the board with a reliable jumper and an athletic ability to finish around the rim. Next at number 21, we have Dillon Brooks of the Phoenix Suns. Brooks is actually coming off of one of his best seasons of his career, and he played a big part in shifting the culture in Houston, getting them back to the playoffs as the 2 seed in the West. He's a leader on and off the court, competing as hard as anyone on defense, and even though he's more known for his antics than anything else, he's still a solid player in his own right. He averaged 14 points per game, shooting a career-best 40% from 3 last season, and now that he's in Phoenix, he's going to try to shift the culture there just like he did in Houston. Next at number 20, we have John Collins of the Los Angeles Clippers. Collins has spent the last few seasons in Utah where he pretty much disappeared from the public eye due to the team's lack of nationally televised games and overall bad product being near the bottom of the standings. But Collins individually bounced back and had a career year last season. He posted averages of 19 points and 8 rebounds per game, shooting 53% from the field and 40% from 3, and now that he's in LA, he's a perfect fit to play alongside pick-and-roll maestro James Harden, who will find him for tons of lobs and corner threes. Next at number 19, we have Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets. Bridges is a relatively good scorer, averaging 20 or more points per game 3 seasons in a row now, but he's another clear-cut example of empty calories, which makes him difficult to rank. He's not efficient as a scorer, and he's never shown he can lead a team to winning anything significant, so while he's capable of putting up good numbers in the box score, he's not a winning player like most of the players ranked ahead of him today. Next at number 18, we have Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors. As I was just saying, your ability to impact winning basketball games matters, and Draymond may not have the kind of per-game statistics most others discussed today have, but he easily makes up for it with all of the little things that he contributes to the Warriors winning games. He's been a key cog in the team's success through the dynasty years when they were dominating the league, with his defense still being as sharp as ever, having just been named first-team all-defense. Next at number 17, we have Aaron Gordon of the Denver Nuggets. Gordon's the backbone of this team's defense. His explosive athleticism has been a weapon cutting off the ball and getting easy looks off the playmaking of Nikola Jokic, and last year, he worked hard to make his three-point shot a weapon and made a highly impressive 43% of his threes, ranking amongst the best in the league. So as he ages, he's making sure he adjusts his game to keep up. Next at number 16, we have Lauri Markkanen of the Utah Jazz. Markkanen broke out as an all-star when he first got to Utah, but last season that magic started to wear off, and now the reality of him as a player may be shining through. At 7 feet tall, he is incredibly unique as a shot creator that genuinely threatens from all 3 levels and can take you off the dribble to get to his spots, but his efficiency tanked a bit last season, and defensively, he consistently leaves a lot to be desired. Next at number 15, we have OG Anunoby of the New York Knicks. Anunoby is one of the most well-balanced players at this position and is the glue that holds everything together in New York's lineup. He can defend multiple positions with his quickness and strength, he gets better and better as a shot creator every season, he's a reliable spot-up shooter, and every now and then he'll surprise you by throwing down a vicious poster dunk just to remind you that he can. So he's easily one of the better two-way role players in the game today. Next, at number 14, we have Kristaps Porzingis of the Atlanta Hawks. Porzingis' season ended in a weird way last year as he was struggling through an illness that definitely affected his play on the court, so that's worth monitoring moving forward, but if he can get back healthy and return to form, he's still one of the most unique weapons a team can have, and now that he's in Atlanta, the hope is that he can get them back into the mix in the Eastern Conference. At 7'3", he's a lights-out shooter with unlimited range and will break the heart of defenses with deep bombs to bail the team out. He disrupts everything in the paint on defense with his length, and he's been a consistent 20 points a night guy for pretty much his entire career. Next at number 13, we have Julius Randle of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Randle has had some big-time regular seasons in his career in New York, but the knock on him at the time was he consistently stunk up the joint in the playoffs. Now in Minnesota, he actually had the inverse go down, as he didn't quite need to be as involved throughout the regular season and saw a dip in his individual production in the regular season this past year, but in the playoffs for the Timberwolves, he played the best basketball of his playoff career and helped them make it all the way to the conference finals again, so he's seeming to have found a home, playing next to Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert. Next at number 12, we have Scottie Barnes of the Toronto Raptors. Barnes is the ultimate jack-of-all-trades type of forward who provides elite versatility on defense and can serve so many different roles on offense. His passing skills have improved every year, he's an aggressive slasher getting to the rim, but he's a really bad three-point shooter and defenses are figuring that out quick, so he's going to need to put in some work there to get back to his all-star type of upside. Next at number 11, we have Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans. It brings me no joy keeping Zion out of the top 10 today because coming out of college, I was as big of a believer as anyone was in Zion, and his otherworldly ability to entertain and dominate should have translated to a superstar level, but he just has not been able to stay healthy for meaningful enough lengths to reach that point, and he's had to scale back a bit on the explosive plays because of those health issues. When he is on the court, he is still a dominant force, scoring the ball in the paint, but with so many proven, highly impactful, and more durable players at this position, this is as far as I can put him on the list. Next, to start off the top 10, we have Chet Holmgren of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Holmgren's two-way impact was just solidified on the biggest stage, helping the Thunder take home the Larry O'Brien trophy. His two-way contributions are only going to get better and better too, as someone with just 2 seasons under his belt so far. He's already a dynamic shot-creating, floor-spacing, and shot-blocking 7-footer, who still has another level to reach if he can bulk up strength-wise over time. Next at number 9, we have Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. Adebayo has been one of the NBA's best defensive players for years now, with 5 All-Defense Team nominations on his resume already, and his ability to protect the paint and switch out onto the perimeter at an elite level, making him the poster boy of versatility. Offensively, he's a solid role man in the pick and roll. He has a buttery mid-range jumper, and he can occasionally take it at someone in the paint, but he's just not much of a go-to scoring option, and needs to be a secondary type of player to be at his best. Next, at number 8, we have Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mobley is the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, thriving in a lot of the same ways that Bam Adebayo dominates on defense, but he does it for a top-ranked defense year in and year out. He also took massive strides forward on the offensive end this season, scoring a career-high 18.5 points, with a much-improved three-point shot to space the floor for a team like the Cavaliers, who have good playmakers and need spacing. Next, at number 7, we have Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. Jaren's another fellow Defensive Player of the Year winner, providing absolutely elite defensive impact inside and out, and of the trio of him, Evan Mobley, and Bam Adebayo, Jaren is easily the best scorer of the three. He scores an efficient 22 points per game to add to his confident three-point shot, with solid footwork and touch in the paint, to make him a threat in a plethora of different ways. He does have a bit of a fouling problem on defense, which gets him into foul trouble quite a bit at times, but he is still an elite two-way contributor. Next at number 6, we have Pascal Siakam of the Indiana Pacers. Siakam is an NBA champion from his days with the Toronto Raptors. He's a multiple-time All-Star as a slashing scorer that has blistering speed for the position, and he almost led the Pacers to winning it all at this postseason, falling in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Siakam is an established big-game player, unafraid of the moment, which gives him a big boost in a list like this. There just happens to be some truly elite talent ranked ahead of him. Next at number 5, we have Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic. Paolo is a rising star with all of the tools to be a great at this position. Already at 22 years old, he's been an all-star that just averaged 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, using his overwhelming strength to attack the basket relentlessly, while also having the skill and touch to dominate in the mid-range game. He's still not a very good three-point shooter, which hurts his ability to reach the top of the league's scoring leaders, but he stuffs the stat sheet nightly regardless, and he has been the leading factor in the Magic making the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. Next at number 4, we have Anthony Davis of the Dallas Mavericks. Davis has been one of the league's great interior defenders for over a decade, and offensively, he's just about as good as a number 2 option can get. But ultimately, if his time in LA proved one thing, it's that he is a number 2 and not really a number 1. He's arguably the league's best pick-and-roll lob threat, he crashes the glass hard, and he's got a deep bag when he gets touches around the basket, but the 3 players ranked ahead of him are true superstar number 1s that have led teams to great heights. Next at number 3, we have LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron may be 40 years old, but he's still producing like one of the best players in the game, putting up 24 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds per game, molding into more of a point forward than ever, playing the role of primary ball handler and main distributor, at least until Luka Doncic came to town. He's still a highly efficient 3-level scorer, making 51% of his shots and 38% of his threes. He can heat up in a heartbeat still, and while his explosiveness isn't where it once was in his prime, he's still moving like a guy that's 10 years younger than he really is. Next at number 2, we have Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. I know Tatum isn't going to be on the floor for this upcoming season due to a torn Achilles, but when I included the injured players in the other videos, I have to stay consistent and do it here too. Tatum's been a crafty scoring talent from the beginning of his career, but what's made him one of the elites of the game has been his development as a top defender and a much improved playmaker, and without him, the Celtics know that they don't have a chance to contend, so they're embracing a tanking year while they wait for his return. And finally, the title of best power forward in the game still goes to Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. This has been Giannis's title for a long time now, as a 2-time MVP winner, an NBA champion, a Finals MVP, and a Defensive Player of the Year winner, still putting up averages of 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 6.5 assists a night. He's an absolute monster when he gets ahead of steam towards the rim, and he'll bully anyone in his way as he glides for effortless dunks. He's still a bit of a liability from 3, but that doesn't even matter because he gets wherever he wants on the court with ease and is the best scoring in the paint in the game today. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below how you would rank the league's starting power forwards. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.